the best single day we've ever had in an annual conference, and this day is going to be equally great. Our second general session is always devoted to our great drivers that we honor every year. And so pleased to be able to do that. I'd like to recognize our sponsors. Could you give a round of applause to Best Pass and Isaac for the and also our Driver Hall of Fame VIP sponsor, CPC Logistics. CPC's been doing this for many, many years. Let's give them a great round of applause. And now our Driver Hall of Fame luncheon sponsors. How about that great lunch? CPC Logistics, Frito-Lay, Fleet and America, and Triple Transportation. Let's give them a sponsor. Okay, so now we're going to begin our Driver Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and the Master of Ceremonies who's here is Tom Moore, Executive Vice President of NPTC. Tom?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is the favorite thing that I get to do out of many favorite things that I get to do in the course of my life and my career. And I just want to welcome you all to this session. I'd like to thank our sponsor, International Truck, and Bob Mann, if you're in the audience, wherever you are, come on up to the stage, please. Bob is a generous sponsor. Without his support, we could not make this program work. And I'd also like to welcome our board chair, Chuck Amon, to the stage to help with the presentation of the awards. Let me go back a second. What I'd like to do is just do a quick overview of this year's class, which is an exceptional class. We gathered in this room, and the four people you're about ready to be introduced to, 172 years of service to this industry, 13.2 million miles without a chargeable accident, moving violation, or injury. That represents, just to put that number in perspective, if these folks started when they did, and they're all in their 60s and one in their 70s, but if they started all together, that would have been 27 round trips to the moon, okay? That's about or another perspective, 530 revolutions around this world without an accident or without a moving violation. I think that's pretty special. And the four men you're about to meet represent absolutely the best of the best. They're the cream of the crop. They're the pinnacle of excellence in this industry. They're the people that everybody aspires to be like. And we'd like to thank them for their years of service, their dedication, their focus, their extreme sense of care, their honesty, their embodiment of the golden rule. They live it every day. And this is a real tribute to a job well done for them. I humbly hope that over the next few minutes that I'm able to capture in some small way the essence of what makes each one of the four of these individuals tick. I'd like to pay them the respect. I mean, how do you reduce a lifetime of service into 5 or 6 minutes? That's the challenge. And so bear with me, and I hope you get a better sense to see what makes them tick. But understand that each one of these four men, while they come from different parts of our industry, different areas of our country, they are joined because of their love for their family. They're united in their service to their customers and to the companies that employ them. They're all supported by great companies and by great family lives back home. In short, these are four stories of individuals that make our industry proud and they make America great. So I've already hinted at my first one, so let's go to Ricky Cook with Shaw Industries. Ricky, if you could come up to the stage. Ricky started driving, I'm going to talk while they walk. Okay, Ricky started driving professionally in about 1979, and in 41 years behind the wheel, He has racked up 4.4 million miles without a preventable accident or moving violation. The only blemish on his record was when a dog ran out in front of his unit and he clipped the dog and the dog survived. Okay? That's how good a driver he is. How did he do it? Let's listen.
Not much to look like, but you have patience. And I guess just keep an eye on what's going on around you.
To tell Ricky's story, you need to understand a little bit about his background. You need to know that he inherited his love of trucking from his father, Irving Cook, who drove for 45 years himself at Candlewick Yard. Often you could find Ricky tagging along on Saturdays with his father, making his delivery. His father also went by the name of Haymaker because he raised hay for the local farmers in the Dalton area. And Ricky got his first experience driving behind the wheel when he was just 12 years old, navigating a 20-foot trailer through the rows of squash and bales of hay. Now let's hear how Ricky describes that.
I give my dad a credit card. He would have got me, I guess, interested in trucking and around farm equipment and all this, it all just fell in place.
I think you'll find that when you talk to Ricky, he has a real sense of family, and he really wanted to make his father proud. During his high school, his dad got him a job on second shift working for Candlewick Blending Line, and when Ricky graduated from high school in 1979, he went to work for Watts Dairy Farm, where he learned how to drive a single-axle truck, pulling primarily soybeans in a grain trailer. Watts Dairy, this is a strange thing, one of the strangest things I've seen, they also owned an amusement company, and Ricky worked on that amusement company for 5 years before he joined Shaw. He was hauling video arcade games, or probably not video at that stage, right? It's probably just regular arcade games. One day, he tells me a story of when he and his dad crossed paths there in Dalton. I just want to share this. This is really kind of a fun story.
So the cars we got low when we come back. It was coming back Paddy's Hill there with my dad and one of his coal drivers that was coming on the interstate as I was going by, and I just looked over to see him smile. You know, I still remember his face. That smile from ear to ear.
So, as a matter of fact, Ricky almost went into his farming himself. He did inherit a farm from his grandfather and went into the poultry business, raising eggs, for about 10 years. He told me pretty quickly that was a 24/7, 365-day a week with no rest, and he's glad to be done with it. So he worked there for 10 years while he was pulling second shift for Shaw. He doesn't miss that at all. Going back in time, Ricky started driving for Shaw, as I said, in 1984. He spotted trailers, averaging about 80 trailers on a 12-hour shift. 6 months later, he joined the interplant division, moving raw and finished goods between various Shaw plants, and he's had experience with just about every type of equipment you can imagine, hauling all the various in production materials through that process. In 38 years with Shaw, he's achieved 4.1 million miles of safe driving. And here we are, this is part of what his average day looks like. We're driving through the rail yard, looking for the rail trailer to pull the resin out of the bottom drop of those trailers. And that's just part of it. That's in Chickamauga, Georgia, about 30 miles north of where he's based. He works about 11 hours a day, 4 days a week, operating primarily in North Georgia. He'll do just about anything, but his main route is moving product from the rail yard to Shaw facility in Chickamauga. And there he is going through the process of getting the product out, which is kind of interesting. You see him, he's not headless there. He is just checking the bottom of the hopper car. And then that's the pellets, the resin pellets that we pull out. He does that for quality control, and you can see all the aspects of him having to hook up to the rail trailer and load his own trailer with that. For each of the past 12 years, Ricky has received a certification from the National Safety Council in recognition of his safe driving, and that's been presented to him by his company. We got back from unloading the rail car, loading his trailer, and then he's responsible for maintaining load levels at 36 separate resin silos throughout the Shaw manufacturing facility. And like I said, he'll do just about anything he needs to do that. Ricky is also a driver training. Driver trainer. He stays current with regulations, with SHAW procedures and rail yard procedures. By being a trainer, Ricky knows all too well the importance of defensive driving. By helping to train other drivers, he promotes safety and practices defensive driving, which in turn help his peers and the new recruits coming in. What knowledge does he seek to impart to those new folks? Well, let's listen to him.
Never take anything for granted. You know, always be on the alert. You know, even, you know, I'm gonna do this pre-trip this morning, it's rain. You need to go ahead and do it. You know, just don't take anything for granted.
He is a man of great routine. Ricky hones his skills by competing every year in the Georgia State Rodeo. He's one of a couple of our drivers today that competes there, and he finished as high as third back in 2017. The rodeo serves as a refresher for his knowledge, and it heightens his awareness of what can happen on the road because he has exposure to other very top-notch drivers. Over the years, Ricky has developed rules of the road. Those are to practice patience. Don't let something small irritate you because it will ruin your whole day. Never get in a hurry. Anticipate. Develop a routine. Control what you do and don't worry about what others don't, and take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, this man had a near fatal heart issue back in 2012 and had to have a couple surgeries to keep the ticker ticking and to keep serving, and he's been doing that very well. I asked him what did he learn from that experience, and he says, I had to cut out the darn cigarettes and start walking more. So, in any event, but despite, he also, as most drivers do, their frustrations, they keep the frustrations in check, but each one of these four had the same frustration. And I bet you all know what it is. Cell phones. Okay? It's just hard to keep cars driving properly and maintaining distance with the use of that distracted driving. But despite those frustrations, Ricky will tell you he really enjoys his job. And I asked him, what does he enjoy most? Let's listen. It is a family. You'll find out that his stepson actually is a fleet manager for U.S. Express. So following the footsteps, he says the job, it's like being in business for yourself, but it's not 24/7. And he's working for a company that says always gets him the best equipment. Speaking of family, I want to share a little bit. He and his wife Donna, who's here and pictured there about what, 22 years ago? Is that right? And you celebrate your anniversary later this month, I believe. Next weekend. They met after Donna's twin sister, who also works at Shaw, encouraged Ricky to ask Donna out. And so the rest is history, I guess. Donna's an administrative assistant in a local nursing home, and family has always been important to both of them. He has 2 daughters, Kinsey and Chastity, from his first marriage, and 4 grandkids with another one due in July. And here he is, you can see on the right-hand side, he's pictured with Kinsey's son, Caden, and that's an exact replica of the tractor his dad was on many years ago. You know, when he's not driving, he enjoys camping, fishing, hunting, boating, and his family. And he has a little shop out back of the property, so if you need anything done to your car or your air conditioning, Ricky's your man. Let's give Ricky a round of applause.